Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here today. This is your one-stop shop for cryptocurrency analysis, among other things. Now we're taking a look at Maker, MKR. This is just a technical analysis, there's no fundamentals here. My community had asked me to do an analysis on this, so thank you to my Patreon subscribers and supporters, you're all very awesome. Furthermore, I'm not a financial advisor. I have a lot of experience, but I'm not going to, tell you what to do and how to do it. I'm going to, teach you how to fish so you can fish for a lifetime, right? That's the whole point. So again, this is for educational purposes only. Always do your own research, and just note that I have a link to my Patreon account as well as my Telegram community if you'd like to get engaged. I have a Discord channel as well. We all learn and grow together and just make this the best possible experience. All right, so thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy and learn a little something here today. Let's check it out. All right, folks, let's go ahead and take a look at Maker. And just before we do, I'd like to preface with the fact that we always look at Bitcoin and Ethereum first, just to kind of get a baseline what's going on, because it's obviously an indication of what's happening in the market, right? Because if you're going to be doing any kind of trading and you're not looking at the fundamental data, you have to look at a bird's eye view and work your way down. In other words, we'll look at the 1 day, 4 hour, 15-minute, and 1 minute charts. But before we do, we need to know what's going on with Bitcoin and why the price action is moving the way that it is. Okay, so look at that first here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. And just so you know, I am using the Binance application. It's a desktop application on my PC, and I have TradingView enabled, which is this little button on the top right-hand corner. Because it's default to original, it's kind of it's a subpar compared to TradingView. TradingView is a very good charting tool. All right, so looking at Bitcoin here. This is a 4-hour chart. Just something to note is the price is trending above the support level, previous resistance of 38,800. It's a good sign. It's working itself in this little channel here. Let me go ahead and zoom in because we got the 50-day moving average coming down to kind of meet. So once we get this intersection, hopefully it'll kind of the next 12 to 24 hours, we'll see it peak above, break above, and then jump past 40,000 and to infinity and beyond, right? From there on out, hopefully it continues. Honestly, we would just really want to see some sideways movement from Bitcoin. I don't care if it stays at 40,000 for 5 months. I don't care, because that will be a good day for all of us, because all the altcoins can take off and do their thing before Bitcoin decides it wants to complete its cycle, right? So that's essentially what we're looking at there, but this is a 4-hour chart. Not just to really worry about. I mean, 47,000 would be the next milestone once we pass 40 and stay above the 50-day moving average. But good news is the 50-day moving average is proven to be a pretty strong support and resistance level, so we can break that and stay above. I think we're in good shape. Ethereum, same scenario, only with Ethereum, right? At least if you look at the last, 2 weeks of trading. Because ever since the Elon candle and the China candle, things just went on a straight downward spiral, but it can only go down so low for so long, right? So it's recovering now here today, but Ethereum is effectively the same as Bitcoin right now in this sense because it's performing similarly. Normally it's the go-to standard for Bitcoin sell-off. It's normally something you want to use, but in this case, it's not. So anyways, nothing much to really note here besides the fact that we have the death cross coming down and the 50-day moving average potentially working as a resistance until it becomes a support. All right, let's go and take a look at Maker now. This one's interesting. I covered this one a while back, and it's pretty big as far as the price action. It's had some pretty strong days, but look at the 1 day chart here. Something I want to note, first of all, is just how Bitcoin influenced Maker, right? In other words, let's just see the correlation. So look for the 17th. That was the first major Bitcoin sell-off. That is this guy here. So not bad at all, right? So red candle, but it barely closed below its original open. That's not bad. Okay, and then we got the 22nd right here. Big green bar. On the 22nd, that was the second major sell-off from Bitcoin. And the third major sell-off was on the 25th. That's right here. So we're talking, Maker has been just consistently outperforming Bitcoin. What broke Maker's back was getting overextended, right? It had a pretty strong bull run, had to retrace. And then if you look on the 12th, this was the Elon candle here, right there. That's when things started to go south. And of course, we got the China candle on the 18th here, right? So those two things really drove the price down. I would venture to guess the true range for Maker would be somewhere in this channel here, right around 5,000 to 5,500 as an approximate estimate. Okay, so I'm not concerned at all about, if Bitcoin continues to consolidate and just kind of stay sideways for 2 or 3 days, we're going to see the price likely closer to 5,000. That would be my prediction. In the next week, we'll see 5,000 if we can get some consistency from Bitcoin, right? So that's kind of the big thing to look at, and that's why the one-day chart is effective and helpful to compare with Bitcoin. All right, now moving on to, really quick, just to note, RSI is in the middle, no big deal. MACD is swinging back upwards. Again, these aren't big indicators in the one-day chart. I don't put a lot of value into them, but it's something to note. Also, price is above 200-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. These are all good things. All right, so 4-hour chart. This is the chart that means the most when it comes to moving averages. So for my simple moving average of 250, this is exactly what the industry leaders are looking at right now. Okay, so if you can set your charts up for this, it'd be helpful, because if you're trying to just trade blindly, it's not helpful at all. It's very beneficial, however, if you can trade knowing if you're going with the current, right? The trend is your friend. You got to go with the trend. It's pretty much the only friend you have in trading, minus Telegram communities like myself, like the ones for CryptoCash, that you can jump into and get some really good support that way. That's a different story. But for here right now, looking at this, we can tell that the 200-day moving average is above. That will work as a resistance level soon. So if it can pass 4,500 in the near future, we'll be really good shape to open season upward of 5,000. But the 50-day moving average is below the price right now at about 3,700. Also very good sign. Furthermore, RSI is, wow, look at that. RSI is under 30 significantly, about 23. So it's no wonder that the price action recovered, obviously because Bitcoin's doing well, but you can only hold something down for so long, right? I like to use the analogy of a balloon. Try to holding a balloon or something, some flotation device underwater. It's inevitably going to surface, right? That's how this works when RSI comes under so low. You just push the price down as hard as it could get. So that being said, RSI is under 70 right now, still in good shape on the 4-hour chart. I would like to see a little period of consolidation before it continues to ramp up, because if it keeps doing what it's doing right now, it might push up too hard too fast and it'll come back down again. I love bull runs that have short bursts followed by periods of consolidation, burst, consolidation, burst, consolidation. It looks like a staircase. That's what you want to see. This is more like a, I don't know what that is like. It's more of a diagonal line than a staircase. So just be mindful. It is rising up quickly. Look at this volume. My goodness, tons of volume. So this is a good sign, but also just something to be aware of. Kind of be cautious. If we see this continue to just increase, you can be ready for a sell-off. If there are RSI peaks over 70 and stays over 70 for just say 4, 8, 12 hours. Be mindful of how the RSI starts to taper off and come back down. That's usually a good indication of a retracement. All right, so 15-minute chart. Look at this guy. Now this is a perfect example of a bull run. So let's turn off the moving averages. I like to remove the simple moving averages and turn on my VWAP and EMA. If you're new to the channel, VWAP is the volume weighted average price. Just tells us what the price is based on the average volume in the last 24 hours. So in the last 24 hours, right now, the price should be $39.50. And it's up above that, which is good, because the key takeaway here is that the price over VWAP is essentially bullish, or in other words, the VWAP line is a support level. As you can see, it worked as a resistance previously. And once it came above, had that double bottom, so to speak, came back up, we're looking good. Another thing to note also is that, in a bull run, you're going to see a price action increase like it did, come and consolidate, and then test the EMA line, which it did here, and then come back up, consolidate, test the EMA, and back up again. So it's essentially repeating the same patterns over and over again. That's great. We want to see that. So this is likely the continuation of a good bull run. These are nice little periods of consolidation, believe it or not. The 4-hour chart doesn't reflect this, but the 15 tells you that there is a state of, leveling out. So it's just trying to find, okay, is this price good? Yes, it's good. The bulls think it's not, the bears think it is, and it keeps going up. Okay. So that's something to be mindful of. So whenever I take entry, just say for example on the 1-minute chart or the 15, almost the same rules apply. I wait for the price to be over the VWAP line. So this blue line here, price has to be above for me to take entry. So when the price comes up like this and comes back down and tests the VWAP line, that tells me this is a strong potential for an entry point, right? So price comes down, tests the VWAP, rejects, and comes back above. So what I then look for is I look for 3 solid green bars. Okay. Now I look for the three solid green bars above the EMA line, not just anywhere. I don't arbitrarily just do this. I look at them being over the EMA line because it has to show me that momentum is moving in a bullish trend, right? Truly moving upwards. So I look for three solid green bars. These are three solid green bars here. So let me show you what that looks like a little closer. So that is what you're looking at. So three solid green bars that close above and beyond the EMA line. All right. So I'd likely take entry somewhere in this range here, right? And then I'd ride my position out, and I'd go up here, and I'd see how it tests, see how it reacts to the EMA line. Right here, looking good, tested, comes down. I'm okay with that for now. And it comes back up. Okay, good. In other words, if we see three solid red bars closing in a downward fashion, that could be a different story. Like this is three solid red bars. You want to be mindful of that. That's scary. And no good. Not good. No good things come of that. It's not always foolproof, but you might want to consider taking your gains at that point if you see three solid red bars. Had this closed red, I would have likely taken a position, or correction, I would have closed my position. But just say it wasn't red and it continues up. See how it's testing this line and then bouncing and coming above? That is a confirmation that the EMA is holding. Okay, so look at that, it keeps going. So what I'd likely do here, as soon as I get this confirmation that the price is coming back up, I'd probably add to my position somewhere in this range. Maybe a 30% position. Okay, let's make that a little nicer. All right, so I did a 30% position and it comes up, keeps going up, and all the while I'd be paying attention to the RSI. Because on the 1 minute chart, the RSI, when it peaks over 70, it can be concerning. You want to be close, mindful of it. So hypothetically, in this point right here and here, the RSI is over 70. So a lot of times I would probably consider taking a small position there, or correction, selling a small position, like a percent of what I have in. I would sell there. And then when it comes back up here and I see it over 70 again, then I'd likely sell probably somewhere in this range as soon as it starts coming back down. Okay. And that would probably be the end of my total run, right? So again, not terrible at all, right? Because you look at this here, entry point, that got me upwards of 4% with my first position. Then I added another position of 30% to get me an extra 1%. So that's roughly a 5% gain. So had I invested $1,000 into this, I would have made $50, right? So that's essentially what I look for. So I look for those kind of gains throughout the day, and I do this multiple times to get me 1% of portfolio size over the total life of my trading, right? So every day I shoot for a 1% gain, not in the one trade, not a 1% trade, but a 1% gain in my wallet. When I have that, I call it a day and I'm done. Okay. So that's essentially what you look for. Again, you could be the risk taker, be like, oh great, I found the bottom, and I just jump in and do a full position. Don't do that. Never go all in. So you're gonna get bit one of these days, and it's gonna hurt really bad. I'm coming from experience by saying that. So take small positions and add to your position as you get confirmation. Like you take a small position here, great. Add to your position here once you get confirmation. Add your position, add your position. You can literally do multiple entries, right? But if you don't, if you put everything in all at the first moment and it goes south on you, unless you have really strong risk management, you're going to be out and it's going to be done. And it's not good. So just be mindful of that. Please be careful. That's why I'm here, is to try to help bring forth my knowledge, because I've made a lot of mistakes in my day. I've been trading for over 10 years, and in that time, I can tell you that it can weigh heavy on your soul and your heart when you have to leave the day with a 10, 20, 30% loss, especially when you work hard for it every single day. So learn to be smart, be cognizant of your positions, and don't go all in. Don't trust all these other YouTubers that are telling you it's 10x, 20x, 30x. That doesn't mean you have to take that large of a position, right? You can still 20x a small position and make a lot of money if you're careful. Yes, you're not going to get as much gains, but you're going to have a lot smaller losses, all right? Either way, if you found benefit from this, please like and subscribe. Please note also I have a Patreon account if you'd like to show your support. I'm also going to include signal groups soon as another tier in my Patreon group, so that way you can kind of stay in the know and be well advised of things like this, good entry points, things that help you be more effective, so you can just jump right in and have a good time. That's the idea, right? Yeah, feel free to join my Telegram community as well. Good group of folks there, approaching close to 400 members at this point. Really nice. That's all I have for you again. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your day. Be safe.